What's up everyone, Steven here with Neural DSP, and today I have a new FAQ episode where I answer your most frequently asked questions. Question 1 comes from Scott Bailey. In the Neural DSP plugins, is the EQ stage before the cabinet or after it? The EQ stage is before the cabinet. The icons at the top of the page are representative of the signal path inside the plugins. Question 3 comes from Casper. I'd like a guide to mixing and matching different plugins. I'm having trouble using the effects from Pliny with Nameless. Maybe it's just an input-output setting thing that I need to play with. I've addressed this before in a previous episode that you can't really do this with standalone, unfortunately, without getting some additional software to route your signal between plugins. However, in a DAW, you can mix and match individual components of the plugins by either double-clicking or right-clicking the icons to turn them on or off. Then you can set up your chain however you like as long as you keep track of what plugin does what. So, for example, I can set up a signal chain like the first overdrive pedal from the Nolly to go into the second head of the Pliny, onto the Granifier impulse response section, and then back to the Abasi effects section for delay and reverb. The possibilities are pretty endless. I'd recommend keeping track of your gain staging though, since turning certain components of the plugins on and off can make the volume dip or rise. Generally, whichever plugin you've chosen for the head will need to be turned slightly down when you disengage the impulse response. Question 3 comes from Valerie Hopeless. Hey Steven, I'm really wondering how Asio latency setup affects the tone of my DIs. I heard that it's recommended to record guitars with a bigger buffer size while monitoring yourself with an external amp or multi-effect, or something else. Is it true, and why? Thanks. So your buffer size won't affect your guitar tone in any way. The buffer size only affects how quickly your CPU processes incoming audio signals before sending them onto your speakers for you to hear. The reason one would monitor with an external amp is so you could eliminate all chances of latency messing up your playing while recording takes. Latency issues can be pretty painful when it comes to recording and editing, so eliminating as much of that at the outset makes for less work later on. This includes the plugins that you already have in your session as well. If you have a smaller buffer size in your session, you already have a lot of plugins enabled, it's gonna bog down your CPU, you could have dropouts, and you could have your session actually stutter and stop recording in the middle of a take. So a good reason one would monitor with an external amp is so you eliminate any chances of latency or stoppage of your session from messing up your playing while recording takes. Question 4 comes from Jack Teromino. What type of computer do you need for this program? Also, what does this guitar system cost? Help me understand this, it sounds awesome for guitar sounds. For the cost of the plugins, you can go to neuraldsp.com to see the pricing for every plugin. The minimum recommended specs for all Neural DSP plugins are listed on the FAQ page of the Neural DSP website, which I'll link below, but I'll still go ahead and break it down for you here as well. For Mac, the minimum requirements are the Intel Core 2 Duo processor that runs at 2.1 GHz or higher, 4 GB of RAM, and you'll need to be operating on at least OS X 10.9. However, the recommended Mac specs are the Intel Core i5 processor at 2.5 GHz or higher, 8 GB of RAM, and the OS X 10.15 Catalina. For PC, the minimum requirements are the Intel Core 2 Duo or AMD dual core processor at 2.1 GHz or higher, 4 GB of RAM, and Windows 7 operating system. But again, the recommended PC specs are the Intel Core i5 or AMD Ryzen 5 processor at 2.5 GHz or higher, 8 GB of RAM, and Windows 10 operating system. You'll also need an iLock account and an internet connection when activating any of your licenses. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Next episode, I'll address some of your most frequently asked questions regarding the Quad Cortex, so leave anything you want to know down below. And while you're there, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified the moment we drop any new content on this channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.